I never expected my marriage to end through messages on a phone screen.
I never thought my world would fall apart through a phone screen. It was late, the kind of quiet that feels heavy. It was a message from my wife. "Working late again, sorry," followed by a smiling emoji. My fingers typed back a simple, "Okay," but my chest felt like it was in a vice. I tried to brush it off, telling myself it was just work, but a knot of unease had already formed. This one was from a number I didn't recognize. "Your wife asked me to cover for her." I stared at the words, my mind racing. Why would a stranger message me this? "Who was he?" I typed back. "Who is this?" My heart was pounding against my ribs as I waited for the three dots to appear. The reply came almost instantly, and it was casual, almost mocking. "Just a guy from her office. Don't worry about it." He even added a laughing emoji. Something about his carefree tone sent a chill down my spine. My hands started to shake, but I knew I couldn't jump to conclusions. Accusations would just lead to denials. I needed a plan. I decided to test the waters. I sent my wife a new message. "Hey, feeling a bit bored. Might swing by your office to say hi." Her response was immediate, almost frantic. "No, don't. We're super busy." "It's a bad idea." That quick, sharp rejection stung more than any silence could have. My suspicion grew heavier. I went back to the conversation with the unknown number. This time I pretended to be friendly, playing dumb. "Oh, she works so hard," I wrote. That's all it took. Someone who pays her proper attention. Each word was a tiny shard of glass in my heart. "You're a good friend to her?" I replied. Then I put the phone down. The lie felt bitter in my mouth. Later that night I texted my wife again, a simple question. "Are you happy?" The pause before her reply felt like an eternity. "Just tired," she wrote. "Stressed from work." I took a deep breath and asked the next question. "Do you trust me?" "Of course," she replied instantly. "Why would you even ask that?" I typed back, "I trust you too." That was the hardest lie I've ever told. The next day felt surreal. I suggested we get dinner, trying to act normal. She agreed, but she seemed a million miles away. We sat at the restaurant, the silence between us so thick you could cut it with a knife. We were physically together, but we were communicating through a digital wall. Back home, the distance was even more palpable. She sat on one end of the couch, and I sat on the other. My phone buzzed. It was her, texting me from 10 feet away. "Are you mad at me?" I looked over at her, her face illuminated by her own screen. I typed back, "No, are you?" Her reply was just a single broken heart emoji. That's when I knew. It was time to end the charade. My fingers moved with a cold precision. I messaged the unknown number one more time. "Are you with her right now?" The reply was sickeningly fast. "Yeah, why?" followed by a string of laughing emojis. My vision blurred with tears I refused to let fall. I typed my final message to him. "Enjoy the couch." Then I stood up and walked into the living room, my phone held up for her to see. Her face went pale. Her eyes darted from my phone to my face, filled with panic. She started typing furiously, her thumbs a blur. My phone buzzed. It was her. "Please," the message read. I looked at her, really looked at her, and asked out loud, "Why did you lie to me?" Sending a flood of apologies I didn't want to read. "Stop texting," I said, my voice dangerously quiet. "Start talking." The tears finally came, streaming down her face. "It was a mistake," she sobbed. "A stupid mistake." I asked her, "How long has this mistake been going on?" She couldn't answer. She just looked down, defeated. Just then my phone buzzed again. It was him. I didn't even read the message. I just blocked the number. I looked back at my wife. "I deserve the truth," I said. She nodded, unable to meet my eyes. While she sat on the bed, sending more desperate messages that I ignored, I started packing a bag. I went to a friend's place that night. In the quiet of his guest room, I scrolled through everything. The messages, the timelines, the lies. It was like reading a story about a stranger who happened to look like my wife. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just felt a profound, hollow sadness. I sent her one last message. "I hope you find what you were texting for." Her reply was a wall of text, paragraphs of excuses and pleas that I left unread. The days that followed were silent. I buried myself in work and routine, in anything to keep my mind from replaying those messages. Then, one evening, a text from her popped up. "Can we meet?" I agreed, not for her, but for me. I needed closure. We met at a coffee shop, sitting across from each other like strangers. Even then, in person, the conversation started via text. She typed another apology. "I'm so sorry." I looked at her and said, "I believe you're sorry, but I don't believe your promises anymore." Her eyes filled with tears again. "Can't we fix this?" she asked. I shook my head. "Some messages can't be unsent," I said. We stood up, a final, awkward goodbye without a single touch. As I walked out, my phone buzzed. "I still love you." I stopped, typed my reply without turning around. Love requires respect, and I just kept walking. That night, for the first time in a long time, my phone felt light in my hand. I went through and deleted the conversations, all of them. I erased the digital proof of my heartbreak, but I kept the lesson. Trust is built with words, and it can be shattered by them just as easily. Weeks turned into a month. Life moved on. Then one day, a new message from a new name appeared on my screen. It was simple, direct, and honest. And as I typed my reply, I realized the fear was gone. The past was finally quiet. I learned that my story didn't have to end with revenge or bitterness. It could end with clarity and peace. I chose to heal instead of hate. I chose myself and my phone. It was just a phone again, and that was more than enough. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to subscribe for more.